The Golden Seed. What would you do if you found a gold coin when your family had almost nothing? Would you spend it right away, or would you risk everything for a chance at something better? This is the story of a young girl named Mira, whose one small choice changed her family's future forever. Mira lived in a small village between two green hills. She lived with her papa, her mama, and her grandmama. Their little house was simple, but it was filled with love. Still, life was not easy. For 3 years, Papa had struggled to grow crops on his farm. The rain came late,
the soil was dry, and every harvest was smaller than the one before. Many nights, Mira lay awake listening to her parents talk. "We don't have enough money," Papa would say quietly. "I know," Mama would answer softly. "We'll find a way." But Mira could hear the worry in their voices. She wished she could help. One morning, while walking near the river, Mira noticed something shining in the mud. She bent down and picked it up. Her eyes grew wide. It was a gold coin, a real gold coin. The sunlight danced across its surface. For a moment, Mira could hardly believe it. Then she ran home as fast as she could. "Papa! Papa! Look what I found!" Papa stared at the coin. His tired eyes widened. "This could buy food," he said. "We could finally have a good meal." Mama smiled gently. That sounded wonderful. But before anyone could say another word, Grandmama spoke from her chair by the window. "Ask the coin what it wants to become." Everyone looked at her. Mira blinked. "What do you mean, Grandmama?" The old woman smiled softly. "Money is like a seed," she said. "You can eat a seed, and it will help you for one day." She paused for a moment. "Or you can plant it, and it may help you for many years." Then she added, "You must believe in the harvest before you can see it." Mira thought about those words all day. Believe in the harvest before you can see it. A few days later, Mira went to the village market. She did not spend the coin right away. Instead, she watched. She listened. She learned. As she walked through the market, she noticed something strange. No one in the village sold clay pots. Families needed them every day. But everyone had to travel to another town to buy them. Suddenly, an idea appeared in her mind. She used the gold coin to buy a small bag of clay and a simple tool. When she returned home, Papa looked shocked. "You spent the coin on clay?" Mira nodded. "I have an idea." Papa sighed. He wasn't sure this was a good idea. But Mama quietly placed a hand on Mira's shoulder. "If she believes in it," Mama said softly, "let her try." Mira smiled. The next morning, she sat beside the river and began making pots. The first one cracked. The second one collapsed. The third one looked so funny that even Mira laughed. Day after day, she kept trying. Some days were frustrating. Some days she wanted to quit. Twice she cried. Once she almost threw all the clay into the river. That evening, she showed one of her early pots to Mama. It leaned to one side and looked very strange. Mira frowned. "It's ugly." Mama smiled. "No, it isn't." "Really?" "Really," Mama said. "It's beautiful because you made it without giving up." Those words stayed in Mira's heart. Every time she felt like quitting, she remembered both Mama's encouragement and Grandmama's wisdom. Believe in the harvest before you can see it. So she tried again, and again, and again. Finally, after 2 weeks of hard work, she made 5 strong clay pots. They weren't perfect, but they were good. The next morning, she carried them to the village square.
She waited nervously. What if nobody wanted them? What if she had made a terrible mistake? An hour passed. Then a woman stopped.
She picked up a pot and smiled. "I'll take this one." Mira's heart jumped with joy. A few minutes later, another customer arrived. Then another. And another. Before noon, all 5 pots were sold. Mira could hardly believe it. She hurried home with a huge smile. "It worked!" she shouted. For the first time in a long while, Papa smiled too. Mama hugged her tightly. "I knew you could do it." With the money she earned, Mira bought more clay. Soon she made 10 pots, then 20, then 30. People from nearby villages began buying them. Her little business grew bigger every month. Before long, Mira had saved enough money to buy strong new seeds for Papa's farm, the best seeds she could find. That year, the crops grew better than they had in many years. Green plants filled the fields. The farm looked alive again. The family had more food. The house felt brighter. And hope returned to their home. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Mira sat outside her house. Beside her was a small clay pot she had made herself. Inside it were her savings. Papa sat next to her and looked at the little pot. For a while, neither of them spoke. Then he said softly, "I almost spent that coin on one meal." "I know, Papa," Mira replied. He smiled. "How did you know what to do?" Mira thought for a moment. Then she smiled too. "I didn't." Papa looked surprised. "I was scared," she admitted. "But I hoped enough to take action." For a moment, Papa said nothing. Then a warm smile spread across his face, the kind of smile that comes from the heart. Grandmama, watching from the porch, smiled quietly. She already knew. The seed had grown. Sometimes the biggest changes begin with the smallest things. A single idea, a single step. Hope alone is only a dream. Fear alone keeps us standing still. But hope combined with action can change a life. Because true wealth does not begin with gold. It begins with believing that something better is possible and having the courage to plant the seed before you can see the harvest.